It's me, Soumili, along with my co-partner Pratibha Gupta. We both together have created a presentation on the topic Salt Satyagraha. Now, let us know about the great personality who was behind this Satyagraha, who got supported by millions of people, and who achieved all of his goals without any violence. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was an Indian lawyer, anti-colonial nationalist, and political ethicist who employed non-violent resistance to lead the successful campaign for India's independence from British rule and in turn inspire movements for civil rights and freedom across the world. Now, the question is, what is Salt Satyagraha? Salt Satyagraha is known by numerous names like Dandi March or Salt March. It was a major non-violent protest action in India, led by Gandhiji, March to April 1930. Salt production and distribution in India had long been a lucrative monopoly of the British. Through a series of laws, the Indian populace was prohibited from producing or selling salt independently, and instead, Indians were required to buy expensive, heavily taxed salt that often was imported. This affected the great majority of Indians who were poor and could not buy the salt. In 1930, Gandhiji decided to mount a highly visible demonstration against the increasingly repressive salt tax by marching through what is now the western Indian state of Gujarat, from his ashram at Sabarmati to the town of Dandi on the Arabian coast. Gandhiji, with his several dozen followers, began the march on 12th of March. After each day's march, the group stopped in a different village along the route, where increasingly larger crowds would gather to hear Gandhiji rail against the unfairness of the tax on the poor people. On 5th of April, the encounterage reached Dandi after a long journey of 240 miles. On the morning of 6th April, Gandhiji and his followers picked up handfuls of salt along the shore, thus technically producing salt and hence breaking the law. Over the next several weeks, supporters across the subcontinent flocked to the seaside to illegally harvest the mineral. Women took on a crucial role. Many boiled water to make salt, and others sold illicit salt in city markets or led pickets in front of liquor and foreign cloth shops. And because of his brave action, Gandhiji was taken into custody on 5th of May, after he announced his intention to lead a peaceful raid on a government salt works at Dharasana. But even with their leaders behind bars, his followers pressed on. On 21st May, some 2,500 marchers ignored warnings from the police and made an unarmed advance. Gandhiji remained in lockup until early 1931, but he emerged from prison more revered than ever before. Time magazine named him as 1930's Man of the Year, and newspapers around the globe jumped at any opportunity to quote him or report on his exploits. Now, this was the time for the result of the Satyagraha. British Viceroy Lord Irwin finally agreed to negotiate with Gandhiji, and in March 1931, the two hammered out the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, which ended the Satyagraha in exchange for several concessions, including the release of thousands of political prisoners. And with this, the Satyagraha came to an end, and Gandhiji, along with his many followers, was successful in achieving his motive behind the Satyagraha.